What is going on, guys? Another day of the 365 challenge. And it's around, I think, 5 p.m. here in the UK. And what I want to speak about today is being different. Maybe standing out. Maybe not feeling like you relate with the average person. Now that kind of describes my life in a way. I always felt like when I was a kid, I needed to fit in. I needed to do what everyone else was doing, but I kind of struggled with it, I think. I'd see the normal kids in school, and they all had certain friend groups, and they just seemed to have quite a peaceful and normal life. And for me, it wasn't like that. You know, I spent in school, I was best friends with one person, and we just got into trouble the whole of school. That was my whole life. Primary school, secondary school was just trouble. And more trouble, really. And it's not that I was like necessarily a aggressive kid, or I guess I must have been somewhat disruptive to be ending up in isolation all the time and stuff. But I don't know. I just didn't find any of it interesting. I didn't really struggle too much with any of the topics. Like, looking back now, if I went to school now, I'd actually be interested because I'm interested in building knowledge. But in school, I didn't revise for any of my GCSEs. I didn't revise for any exams, and I still passed them. You know, I still passed the very basic maths, English, physical education. I didn't get all my GCSEs, but I passed everything that I needed to pass. And it's almost like I kind of knew at the time, okay, you have to pass maths, you have to pass English, and PE is pretty fucking simple. So I passed them, and the rest, I think my religious education RE exam, I think I just ranted about religion. So I was always quite strange, I guess, looking back. I was never really, didn't necessarily fit in with the crowd, and I always felt like I wanted to. And that came from, now looking back, a sense of insecurity. I felt like I needed to relate with the average person. And since going down this path of individualization, I've realized that I don't need to relate with anyone. And in fact, the most interesting people, and this isn't why I do it necessarily at all, but the people who I find interesting are actually quite strange and not like the normal person. And another point on that, I think that's why I struggle with normal jobs and just putting this fake act on into the world, in like the corporate world, because that's not me. I feel like I'm a very deep, intuitive, introspective person. And for me to go into an office and just have a small talk, very base, surface level conversation, it's very kind of hard for me. Not hard actually, more, I don't really care. I have so many conversations with people. Well, I don't have many conversations anymore because I spend a lot of time alone. If I'm not in the gym, I'm at home reading. Occasionally watching a little bit of YouTube, but I've really tried to come away from that. But yeah, I don't really enjoy small talk at all. And the reason why I thought I'd make this video today is because I'm sure there's people that are watching this that are maybe 17, 18, maybe even older, and I don't think you ever figure yourself out. I think you create yourself, but maybe you're younger than me, maybe you're a little bit older than me, and you still feel like you need to fit in. You feel like you have friends that you want to fit in with, that you want to relate with, but the best advice I can give you is just be yourself. Maybe you have a weird hobby that you really love and enjoy. Don't let anyone put you off that. Maybe you, like me, like if someone saw me from my past life and saw me sat there reading all night and just going to the gym and eating healthy and not going out, they'd think, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because this wasn't the way I was, you know. I used to be a party lad. I used to go out every single weekend. I was rowdy. I'd want to be kind of the centre of attention. And it's weird how, I don't know if it's come with maturity or age or just genuinely just getting sick of that life, that now I'm just, I sit here and read. Like, this is every morning, every night, coffee, tea, water, and books. But yeah, the message I have for younger people is don't be afraid to be yourself. In fact, you're probably going to be more interesting if you just, maybe you have that hobby, like I said. Maybe you have a certain topic that you're learning knowledge on. People are going to find you way more interesting when you have, like, a lot of knowledge on one subject. People are going to find you more interesting when you're a little bit different. And you become across as kind of mysterious. People actually want to know more about you because they think, wow, this guy's weird and he doesn't really seem to need any attention off anyone else. He just kind of gets on with his stuff. And you actually interest people by being disinterested in them. Probably comes down to some sort of psychology. I'm sure I'll learn that in the future. But yeah, don't be afraid to be yourself, man. You know, like I said, I was the person who always cared what people thought. I always wanted to be like everyone else. And now I don't really give a fuck if people like me or not. I'm probably not. I don't think I'll work a normal job for the majority of my life. I think I'll probably get a normal job, maybe build my way up. But I'll be building something in the background the whole time, which will make me maybe in 2, 3, 4, I'd like to say a maximum of 5 years, make me able to come away from that job and go into something that I want to do. I'm still kind of figuring that out. As I've mentioned, I'm reading into more psychology books and taking the Instagram down the psychology route. That's what I'm interested in right now. And, you know, that's what interests me. I don't really have many interests. I train at the gym. I've got a very boring life for some people, but it's very peaceful for me. Like I said, to come from the party phase, and now literally all I do is gym, read, work, even though I'm looking for a job still. And that's it. Eat, clean, spend time with my girlfriend, maybe watch the odd movie with her, walks, nature. I feel like we see a lot of people on social media, and I know I did. I think I want this flashy lifestyle. And yeah, it's nice to have some luxury items, but only for yourself. You don't need to prove a point to anyone else. So we'll finish this video on that point. Don't lose yourself trying to prove yourself. That's the title of the video. Guys, see you in tomorrow's video.